Good evening, everyone. Good
Yeah.
evening. Good evening, Mr. Akiemi. It's really great to have you on this webinar. Right. I think we'll start with our proper introductions because
Okay.
we have some attendees that have joined the meeting, the webinar. Right. So
Okay.
I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Joshua Sego. I'm a business development executive here at Think Media. Right? We help real estate companies achieve more. And I also have with me the co-founder of Sting Media, Mr. Akiemi Abiodun. So I would like Mr. Akiemi, can you properly introduce yourself, sir?
I happen to be thanks a lot, Joshua. I happen to be Biona Akemi. Like you said, I am an estate surveyor and valuer. I've been in the real estate industry for over 20 years, and I've worked in a couple of companies in the industry, and I've come to realize that the industry needs some um, some um, some information, right, and some help, and that is why we've gone ahead to actually create Think Media, because we realize that if you sell it, the property is not going to sell itself. You probably possibly need to do good marketing before it actually sells itself, and that's why we created Think Media to assist real estate professionals like you guys to actually be able to crush your sales goals, and of course smile to the bank. I think that's it in a nutshell, from me.
All right. Thanks so much for that great introduction and also identifying the problem statements, right? So I think that is why we are here to discuss some concerns that um, we have in the real estate industry and also see how we can address them, right? So there are a lot of concerns, but for today, our priority remains scaling your real estate business, the role of automation and CRM. So that is what we are here to discuss, and we promise to make this a worthwhile webinar for everyone, right? And also, we also implore everyone to stay to the end of this webinar because we have a special gift for everyone that stays to the end, right? And I think this gift is very crucial, will be very crucial to changing your business, right, in 2023 and beyond, right? So without much ado, let's get to it, right? We are done with introduction, so we would like to move on to the next, right?
Right.
So
I think it's very important that we welcome everyone. Mr. Akiola, we see you. Sir Gabriel, we see you. Olauton, Jeremiah, and Olayinka Akiemi. I'm wondering if I am related to Olayinka Akiemi. as I've
yeah,
seen, the name. But welcome again, everyone.
yes, welcome everyone. Um, So our first question is going to be, okay, and also at the end of this, towards the end of this webinar, we'll be taking questions. So it's imperative you listen, right? If you have any questions, any concerns, we are ready to answer, your questions. So please pick up your pen and paper and jot down because there are lots of ideas that are coming your way soon. So now our first question is going to be um, the fundamental role of CRM systems in the industry. So, Mr. Akiemi, could you please start by explaining the fundamental role of CRM systems in the real estate industry?
Okay, I think let's before so that we don't confuse anyone. I think it's very important that we get to the basics. First and foremost, what is CRM? I think those of us on this webinar, at least you have an idea. A CRM is just an acronym for customer relationship management. Customer relationship management, and So what is it? I mean, CRM. What does it really do? What's its role? And I think, like the name suggests, it's about managing relationships. I repeat, it's about managing relationships, and I think it's very important to identify that in business, the relationships that we're trying to manage are the relationship that leads us to profits, right? And that leads us to more commissions, closing sales. And but statistically, it has been proven that at any point in time, you can't manage relationships with more than 150 people at any given time. Not more than 150 people. Now, I'm almost certain that if you check your phones right now, most of us have at least, 1,000 to 2,000 contacts. But how many of them do you actually relate to regularly? If you can relate to up to 150 of them, then you must then you must be a superman or superwoman. I mean, you can just scan through your phone right now and say, really, how many people do I really contact? I mean, you can actually type in the comment section and tell how many contacts do you have right now on your phone? Can you tell us how many contacts do you have on your phone right now? Just give a range. Is it up to 1,000? Is it up to 2,000? How many contacts do you have on your phone? And out of that number, how many how many are customers? And how many do you reach out to regularly? So let's go down his memory lane. CRM started around 1986, where this particular of managing relationships with customers became a Herculean task, became something very, very confusing. And people just needed a way out. It was just not enough that you had a phone book. It was just not enough that you had a booklet where you could just write the names of your customers.
Or an Excel sheet.
Pardon?
Or an Excel sheet.
Or an Excel sheet, yes. Where I'm not so sure Excel was around in 1986 though. Okay. But it becomes so difficult to actually manage those relationships. And one needed a system that could actually help you to manage the relationship with your customers, because you also have to remember that you are a limited resource. That means that while your customers need to be attended to, you could be doing something in your personal life, you could be on the road, different things will be happening. But you need a system that could help you organize your customers, help you segment your customers, and help you to follow up with your customers on a regular basis. So things like Excel could not do it. Things like maybe Notion, I don't know who has ever used Notion over here, could not do it, simply because they were not intuitive. They could not act whenever you wanted them to act. They were insufficient to actually help you build the relationships that you actually need to build with your customers. And the question you may want to ask is, why do you even want to build a relationship with your customers? Because let me shock you. How many customers do you relate with once and you're able to close the sale? Because real estate happens to be one of the major investment that anybody will make in their lifetime. It was critical that that you are able to maintain a relationship with your customers or your leads for an extended period of time till they actually know you, like you, trust you, to be able to deal with you. And how do you do that on a daily basis with hundreds of people, with 200 people, with 300 people, with 400 people? Without a CRM, you're practically going to lose your mind. And everybody knows that the secret to a sale is in the follow-up. So you find that most times what we're actually doing is that we are systemizing for forgetfulness. We get a new lead, then we send him our brochure, we send him the property listing, and somewhere along the line, you just forget about the person until the customer reaches out to you. So supposing we actually have a system that could actually help us keep building that relationship till that particular customer says, yes, I want to deal with you. So more often than not, we're always thinking that the leads are actually bad, but in actual fact, they're not. It's our inability to build relationships with them over an extended period of time that makes them look bad. And that's what the CRM does. Like I said, the acronym CRM is Customer Relationship Management. The whole idea is that they can manage the relationship between you and your leads, you and your customers, till they know you, like you, and trust you till they eventually deal with you. And that's the essence of the CRM.
Okay, I think in order to add to what you just said, right, so the CRM, like you said, is customer relationship management, right? So it helps you. So it's not just enough to generate leads, right? A lot of us, a lot of real estate companies today, they just run ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and they generate leads today. But then there's no system that helps them nurture those leads to the buy. And we also do understand that real estate is not singlet, right? It's not the average man, right? Real estate is a product that is literally the most expensive product he or she is going to buy in his or her lifetime.
Right? In their lifetime.
Right? So it requires proper nurturing, proper engagement till they eventually buy, right? And I think statistics has also shown that the average duration it takes for a lead to convert, especially in the real estate, takes up to 3 months, right? And by these 3 months, a lot of us, right, we've forgotten about the leads that we've generated, that's 3 months ago, that's 90 days ago, right? And this is the core essence of the CRM. Right.
Yes.
So moving on to the next question, right? So I think we identified a bit of some benefits of implementing, the CRM, but I think we'll like you to give us further detail as regards the primary benefits that real estate companies can expect from implementing a CRM system in their
Please come again. Please come again. I didn't hear that.
Okay, I said my question is, right, we've identified some benefits, some basic benefits, but then we'd like you to expand further on the primary benefits that real estate companies can expect to gain from implementing a CRM system in their business.
Okay, good question. I think, okay, so let's break it down. I don't want us to sound very deep, right? So like I said earlier on, the central focus of a CRM is to build profitable relationships. I quote, is to help you build sustainable, profitable relationships. And so let's look at it this way. Let's not make it sound deep. It's like a man meets a woman, and the very first day he meets a woman, right? It would be almost crazy for someone you meet a woman and you talk to her and the next thing you propose to her and the next thing she says, I do. I mean, if anybody would say I do at that point in time, you are possibly going to be worried that what kind of person is this? And it's the same way when our leads, they see our listings and we say, okay, we have sold property in Lekki, oh, we have sold property in Magodo, oh, we have sold property in Ikoyi. And you want to be able to close that deal as soon as possible. But there are a couple of questions that the person has in their mind that needs to be answered over time, right? To know that they are secure closing a deal with you, to make sure that you're aligned with their particular need. But for me, the primary benefit here is your ability to organize and be able to segment your leads and be able to know if this particular person, this particular lead is willing, please note this, is willing, is able, is ready, and has a clear need for what you are putting out there. So what a CRM does for you is that it helps you to segment your leads. It helps you to even attract leads. It helps you to store and record your every interaction with that particular lead, right? And this is most important. While you are sleeping, it can continue engaging the customer for you while you are not there. Because I want you to remember one thing. You are a limited resource. All of us have got one brains and 24 hours. But supposing you are in transit when the customer wants to book an appointment or book an inspection. Supposing you are attending to your child's recital in school, and you cannot attend to it at that particular point in time. So it's just not enough that for you to help you organize, it can also help you to qualify your customers, qualify your leads, to know who is a time and who is not. And once you have set the parameters to allow you to identify who your ideal customer is, then you can push them forward in front of you every single time. It can also help you schedule inspections. It can help you stay top of mind with the potential buyer or with the potential customer until the person actually is ready to close the sale. So it's a very major tool, because this is usually the difference between very, very small real estate companies and big real estate companies, is that they have a system that allows them not just to organize, to attract, to qualify, and to be able to put their best marketing resources in front of the customer on a regular basis in an intuitive manner. And I think that is the core. And of course, and I'm talking about old CRM right now. Today's CRM can even do a lot more. It can connect with AI, and you can actually have a virtual assistant. It can tell you who's your best closer within your organization. It can tell you when is the best time to actually call or contact your lead. It can tell you who is an ideal lead. It can even help you to suggest the best listings that can push in front of your leads. So and of course, it can also help you to measure your performance, to measure what is working and measure what is not working. Right? I mean, the good book says that teach us how to number a day so that we can apply that to wisdom. As it's gathering the data, it can help you make sense of it and tell you if you are facing the time or not. So there are many benefits to having this here. Yes. I hope I was able to highlight some of them for you.
Yes. So thank you very much, Mr. Akinyemi. Sure. I think we got a lot of ideas, right? So in order to sum up what you said as regards the benefits of implementing a CRM in a real estate business, right? Although there are lots of benefits, because if we start talking about the benefits today, I don't think we might even finish this one now. But then you mentioned 4 key things that struck that stood out, right? You mentioned it helps you segment leads into willing, able, and ready. That's 1. It helps you attract leads. It helps you store. That's 2. For the 3, it helps you store and record interactions with the lead. And the 4th and most important is it helps you continuously engage with customers 24/7, even while you are sleeping, right? And this is the power of CRM and much more, right? So I think
sorry to cut you, and I think it's absolutely important also that it gives you a sense of accountability. You can measure your activities. You can measure what is working. You can measure what is not working. You can measure if a lead source that you're using is good or it's just or it's just burning holes in your wallet. You can know through a CRM. And I think and like I usually say to our people in the office, I said that whatever you cannot measure, you really cannot manage, right? So because he has the ability to organize your leads, you can okay, how many leads do we have? How many of them were we able to schedule inspections with? How many of them were we able to send out a letter of offer to? Those things are very, very important. So that you can measure your conversions. You can measure what part of your marketing is working. You can measure what part of it is not working. And of course, you can also easily measure how much money you are making, or who is your best salesperson, or who is your best, or what kind of properties even move, does better in the market. The CRM can do all this for you.
All right. Thank you so much for those great insights. I think our next question is going to be today, right? A lot of, I think this year, 2023, a lot of words like AI, automation, artificial intelligence, machine learning, is just being thrown around, right? Is now a buzzword, right? It's now literally everywhere. But even without a lot of people knowing the actual meaning and the actual capabilities of all of these systems. So my next question is going to be, how can automation specifically supercharge efficiency in real estate companies?
Okay, so when you say things like supercharge, so what comes to my mind?
Okay, yeah, go on.
What comes to my mind? I don't know if you can remember. I don't know if anybody here can remember Ben Johnson in the I think it was the 1984 or 88 Olympics. And Ben Johnson was actually banned. He ran the 100 meters, and I think he was able to run about 9.79 seconds, I think. And it was later found out that Ben Johnson was on steroids. And so when you say the word supercharge, steroid comes to my mind, right? Steroid. An enhancer. The steroid is an enhancer. And so he took the drug and he was able to do miracles on the track. So I mean, let bringing this back home. When you say supercharge, is what exactly do you want to supercharge? You must be very, very clear about that, so that you can achieve the efficiency that you're looking for. And I would say, I mean, I don't know if anybody knows what area of their real estate, of the ability to close real estate deals they really want to supercharge. You can quickly drop a comment there. What part of it do you actually want to supercharge? What part of it do you want to supercharge? Before I actually answer this question, what part of it in which are you having problems in which you actually want to be a lot more efficient? Is it in attracting the right? Is it in attracting the right leads? Is it in following up on leads? Is it in closing the sale? What part of it would you like to supercharge? Please, I think Joshua, you're allowed people to be able to drop comments, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what part of it would you like to supercharge? And I'll say this: it's really as simple as this. So let's go through. I mean, let's go through the entire. Sales process. Yeah. You want to be able to consistently attract the right kind of leads, because whatever comes into your funnel is what the quality of what comes into your funnel is what's going to come out. If you attract wrong leads into your funnel, it's not surprising you're not going to close any sales. If you are taking the wrong people on inspection, unqualified people on inspection, no wonder you're not going to close sales. If if you are sending letter of offers to wrong people, no wonder you're going to close sales. So if you want to supercharge the efficiency in closing sales in your real estate company, of which that is the core of what people truly want to achieve, then I would say that one needs to look along these lines and say, okay, how can I make it a lot more efficient? So let's start. Let's start with this. If you're starting off with attracting the right kind of leads, now what can automation do for you, right? Automation here is anything that makes it faster for you, makes it faster, makes it easier, makes it more convenient for you. So what we're really saying when we use the word automation here is that anything that can make it faster to attract quality leads, anything that can make it faster or easier to schedule inspections, anything can make it easier and faster to constantly put our letter of offers in front of our ideal customers, right, and qualify them. That's what we truly want. So let me give you an example. So when a lead comes your way, one of the very first things you want to do is that you want to be able to qualify that lead, because I'm of the opinion that you do not catch your pearls before swine. If someone is not qualified to buy, then you are wasting your time presenting a solution to that person. If someone is not qualified to buy, please do not waste your money, time, and effort presenting a solution to that person.
Yeah, or taking them on inspections.
There's no need for that, right? Because you would have invested so much in activity without being productive.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Joshua, I think Ada Amanze says they can't hear.
They can't hear?
Yes. I don't know if the person can hear. Anyways, let me please confirm if you can hear by saying yes.
We can hear you from this side, I think.
Okay, great. So sorry, where was I?
Supercharge. Don't waste
automation. Okay, how automation can supercharge efficiency in real estate. So now you want a system that consistently provides you quality leads. You want a system that consistently provides you quality leads. So and how do we achieve that? Right? The CRM in this case can run campaigns for you and generate leads on a consistent basis, depending on what lead magnet or lead generator that you want to use. So your lead magnet can be an event. Your lead magnet can be some content. It can be some emails. It can be emails. It can be an open house, right? And your CRM, right, can actually promote your listings to those people, promote this event, and help you generate those leads on a consistent basis, so that each time anybody shows interest in your property or your listings, it drops into one central particular place based on some workflow rules that have been set in place. Now, number two, you also want to be able to know that when after you've attracted them, right, do you have a process that actually qualifies them? I mean, there are a few ways in which you can actually qualify your leads. You can qualify them with this simple system. I always say that the lead is always warning you. And please remember this acronym. For one, it means you need to find out if the person is willing to do business with you. You need to find out if the person is able. You need to find out if the person is ready, and if the person has a clear need for what you are offering. And one of the best ways through automation that we can do that is that we can employ systems like lead scoring. So that you have an objective measure of lead scoring, have an objective measure of who an ideal lead is, not based on your feelings, not based on your intuition, but if the particular person has fits a particular demographic or has taken certain actions, the CRM can help you score that particular person so that you'll be able to know if the particular lead is a quality one to pursue. Another way in which you can, like you said, automation can supercharge is that it can help you also schedule inspections automatically, whether virtually or physically. And I remember some some clients that we had worked with is that what we did that we created a box, a virtual assistant, a virtual super agent that collects all the information that about the client and propose if the customer qualifies the lead and sends and proposes an inspection date for the lead. And it doesn't just only do that, it reminds them such that they don't miss that inspection. These are all the things that the CRM can actually do for you. Okay, then automatically also after the inspection, it can automatically start sending out letter of offers for you. So I will tell people that the amount of money you're expecting in your real estate company is a function of how many letter of offers have gone out, how many offers letters have gone out. You don't make the amount of money that you make or the amount of commission you make is a function of how many of letter of offers are going out. So if I ask you in a week, how many letter of offers have you generated this week? And two, what is the size of each transaction that you want to close? Will instantly let you know how much commissions you can make. And the CRM can do all this for you, right? Once you have set the workflow in place, then it starts doing the work for you. Then you can just come in with your human touch to come and finish or close the deal.
All right. That's very good, Mr. Akiemi. Thanks for the great nugget and insights. Right. So moving on to so I hope everyone is keeping their questions and notes that you are going to ask towards the end of this webinar. Right. So moving on to our next question is, so we've talked about the benefits of having a CRM. So can you give us just, let's say, an example or a short success story or case study that although yes, I'm part of the Think Media team, but then you are the one talking, right? So can you give us a case study on a real estate company that you, without even having to mention the name of the real estate company, right?
I was going to say that because that would be against our policy.
Yes.
But please go ahead.
That you've implemented for and how it impacted their business.
Okay. So there was this company nestled somewhere in Lekki, and big. I mean, if I call the name, you guys might know them. But most of you will know them if you work along that axis. And they had a huge problem. They couldn't determine how many. So their boss picks up the phone, calls us, and says, "You know what? We have properties, so many listings, and I'm talking about listings worth at least 10 billion that has not left the shelf." And I said, "Okay, what was really happening?" And I says, "Okay, you know what? I also feel that many of my guys, they can't close any sale." The question, why can't they close any sale? Because, and I asked, okay, the few ones you guys have closed, who close them? And the boss tells me that he himself is the one constantly closing. That every other person within the company, they're not really able to close. And I told you, I said the first thing you must realize is that I mean, as the owner of the company, you are the number one salesman of the company. However, there's a danger to it if the people around you do not learn how to sell without you. If anything happens to you, that's the end of the company. And we went in further. We did we had a consultation with them, and the things that we discovered was practically shocking. So, you know, in the real estate industry, a lot of people complain about quality leads. I think someone has even dropped a question there talking about quality leads. And I say that there has to be a balance between quality leads and quantity and quantity. You see, we realize that everybody talks about quality leads, the leads are not quality, the leads are not quality, the leads are not quality. But nobody really pays attention to the quantity. So in a day, what we discovered is that so they had about 13 real estate salespeople in the office. And I asked them, so like, how many leads are you guys generating per month? And they're telling me that, well, maybe at best, maybe we're doing maybe about 100. And I said, okay, if you are generating 100, let's really do the math. So let's say you come to work 25 days in a month. How many leads do you actually get to speak to in a day? They were hesitant, and we discovered that each of them was barely speaking to 2 people per day. Let us do the math. If 13 people have to speak to 13 people have to speak to 100 people in a whole month, that means averagely each of them at best in a whole month will only speak to 8 people. If it's divided equally, and they have 25 days in 24 days, no, about 20 to 24 days in a month to actually speak to 8 people. So we said that first and foremost, there was a lead generation problem. They did not have enough quantity of leads. Now let's go to the problem that a lot of people are very conversant with: quality of leads. I said, okay, how do we know who even is a quality lead? And they're like, okay, well, when they talk to the person, they will know from what the person's voice or the person's the kind of car the person brought, how well the person speaks. And I was like, this will not allow you to objectively pinpoint a lead. So one of the things that we did is that we created a lead scoring system inside the CRM for them. And from there, right from the very beginning, based on the qualifying questions, you can know right from the very beginning if you're talking to a tire kicker or not. Number 2, we also made sure that we added more lead sources in a coordinated manner, where some leads are not sitting in someone sitting in one person's phone, another one is sitting in someone's email, and that one is sitting on Instagram, and that one is sitting in one Excel sheet. We harmonize all that data, put it in one place where everybody, and we now start assigning it to different people based on their understanding of that particular listing. And all this was made easy through the CRM. Now, after that, we said, how do you, if you analyze it right, they don't actually want it right now, they tell you, so don't worry, I'll talk. I mean, many of us would have heard this. Don't worry, I'll get back to you guys. I'll talk to you guys later. And most times that's actually the end of it. How do you make sure that these particular people how do you sustain their attention? How do you sustain that drive, that interest that they showed initially? by having a proper follow-up system. By having a proper follow-up system. The secret to any skill is in the follow-up. However, you know, whenever they tell us in our offices that you follow up, people just say, you know what, pick up the phone, just be calling people. But we all receive information in different ways. So you can follow up through phone calls, you can follow up through email, you can follow up through meetings, physical meetings, you can follow up through events, you can follow up through promos. Anything that will sustain the energy and the interest of that particular lead till they buy. Now, one of the things that the CRM can do for you is that you can plug it to a telephony app where the CRM can tell you when to call this particular lead, when is the best time to talk to this particular lead. The CRM can tell you exactly what the nature of the call should be. The CRM can do all these things, and that's what we did for them. And immediately, once they started generating more leads, because now we're able to harmonize all their lead sources into one place. Number two, they were able to schedule a lot more inspections. And we also created a workflow that after a customer is satisfied after an inspection, he or she will automatically get immediately the person is even leaving the site. Before the person leaves the site, the person gets a letter of offer. And even after he or she gets a letter of offer, there's a sequence that follows up immediately, right? Reminding you to call, sending them automated emails without you having to think about it. That can actually lead to the sale. So once we identified all these things, we were able to implement for this company. And as of today, within a span of 4 months, they were able to, out of their 10 billion listing, they were able to close 7.7 billion.
Nice.
All that changed. Very intelligent guys. All that changed is that they now had a system that helped them to make sense of everything that they were doing.
Correct. That's quite an outstanding number, from 10 billion portfolio to being able to close about 7.7 billion. That's almost that's about 77% of their property listings, right? And like they said, just a little trick in the process, right, can help supercharge the entire business, right? Exactly. So moving forward, our next question is going to be, now we've learned about the benefits of using a CRM and automation in the real estate business, and also we've also considered some case studies, right, on practical case studies, right, that we basically implemented, right. So our next question is going to be, when selecting, how do we select the right CRM system and automation partner, right? The reason why we included automation partner is not just enough to pay for a CRM, right? But being able to use and extract the most value from it, right? You need specialists. You need specialists which we call automation partners that can help you, with the workflow, with the journey, with understanding your business processes, right? So how can we select the right system, CRM system, and automation partner?
Okay, great question, Joshua. So this is it. With regards to selecting the right CRM system, I mean, there are many CRM systems that are out there that one can use right now, and some of them they all come with fantastic features. But there are certain things that you have to consider while choosing. I mean, there are a couple of CRM systems like there's Pipedrive, there's Odoo, there's Zoho, there's Top Agent. There are some that are created specifically for the real estate industry. There's there's the one that there are wise agents. That there are many of them. However, you must consider first and foremost, what do you need your CRM to do? Because where it does not, where the features of the CRM does not meet your need, what's the point? You're just going to have another expensive, and I'll say you're just going to have an expensive phone book. But your CRM is only as powerful as what you tell it to do. So you can pick up anyone. You can go to HubSpot, go and pick up anyone and start using. You can go to Salesforce, go and pick up anyone and start using. You over time, you just realize that, and this is what we've noticed. A lot of people don't eventually implement or adapt to it simply because it's not making life better or easier for them. Why? Because they've not been able to clarify what they actually need. One of the things that we have noticed is that cost is a major factor. Cost is a major factor. So depending on the level or the stage where your company is, you don't want to pick a CRM that's going to burn holes in your wallet. The kind that Fortune 500 companies are using, and you ask yourself, how much money are you chasing, and how much is it to actually get your let's say your Salesforce. I mean, I don't want to call the name of any of this thing. I just find that it might not make business sense for you. So what you can actually do is, after you've done your research and you know the one that you actually want to use, right? Make sure that it does not burn holes in your wallet. Because a CRM by itself is not, and I repeat, is not going to do all the magic. No, it's not. What is most important is your judgment of what needs to be done through the CRM. So let me give you an example. If you need a system where you can log in all your phone calls, then you get a CRM that can actually plug into a telephony app where you can make phone calls right from the system. If you need a CRM that has some AI capacity, right? And it can do predictive analysis for you and make sense of your operations, your sales operations, then that's the kind of CRM that you should go for. If you need one in which you one of the factors, another factor to consider is support. How many of these CRMs can give you sustainable support, quality support? Because I mean, many of us are not techies, so you don't want something that is actually very hard to implement or very, very hard for you to understand. You know, so when you have to think cost, you have to think about what exactly you need it for, right? And you also have to think about the level of support that it can offer you. Okay, so for me, those are the core considerations. Because I remember when we first got our first CRM a couple of years ago, it was really above our heads. We didn't even know exactly what we wanted, but we sure knew that we needed to have a system. Yeah. But there was little or no adaptation within the office because it was not meeting people's needs. The people needed something that could harmonize all their lead sources. If it was not doing that, then it was a waste of money and resources. If you do not know who you want to assign your leads to, it might be a problem. So the very first thing is to be very, very clear as to what you need. Because I always say that diagnosis, I always say that prescription without diagnosis is malpractice. So identify what you need, identify the amount of the budget that you can actually spend on this thing, and also identify the ease and convenience that is required, or expertise that is actually required to actually implement everything that you want within your organization. I think those are the critical things in selecting the right system. And of course, when I'm talking about cost, also you also don't want a CRM that has the hidden cost. There are some in which you pay once, and after, just to sustain it, it's costing you a lot more. So they give you a very low barrier to entry, that once you are in, then they balloon the cost, and now you're in the middle of the ocean. You can't turn back. So those are things. So you have to fully understand what the costing is like. You have to understand the level of support that they offer, and of course, you have to most importantly, you have to understand why you need it or what you need it for. Right. So that will help you to identify the right CRM systems. Now, of course, when it comes to automation partners, automation partners, there are many around, but you need one that has experience, particularly within the real estate industry. Particularly within the real estate industry, it also helps if they have, of course, lots of technical knowledge to help you meander through this experience. So, that's it for me in a nutshell. I could go on and on, but I see that our time really is fast spent.
Yes. We actually have about 8 minutes left to the end of this webinar. But
Okay,
I think
sure.
before our next question, we would like to take questions from our participants. In case you have any questions, can you just type it in the chat box? So while they are doing that, I think I should just move on to our next question. So now we've learned about the benefits and also choosing the factors to consider when choosing the right automation and CRM system. So now I'm sure we're all eager to adopt this CRM and adopt CRM and automation in our business. So our next question is going to be, in a nutshell, right? How can they get started? How can Sting Media, help them get started with implementing CRM and automation in supercharging their real estate business?
Okay, I like it whenever you use that word supercharge. Steroid always comes to my mind. Okay, well, okay, so like I said earlier on, I said that prescription without diagnosis is malpractice. And if we don't fully understand what you need, then we can't prefer a solution. It will be irresponsible for us to do that. So more often than not, it all starts with us having a session, having a chat, having a consultation, where we fully understand what your organization needs, what your business needs. And from there, we'll now be able to build up a requirement list. And once we're able to create that framework, then we can now go into helping you to implement it. But essentially, what is most important, and every time we have a lot of people that say, "Can you just help me just do this?" I'm like, no. If we do that, there's no one size fits all. Organizations are dynamic. People's challenges are different, and for that reason, we cannot give a one size fits all. But the very place to get started is actually booking a consultation with us, and from there we can help you. And it has to be a one-on-one session with someone on our team, and they can help you map out what your goals are, and you know what you want, but we know what you need, and from there we can help you map it out and go ahead to help you implement it. So the place to get started is in booking a consultation.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Mr. Kemi. So I don't know if anyone has asked any question in the chat box.
So I think there are a couple of questions I'm seeing here. Joshua, can you run by that? I think someone said, do I need a website to run a CRM? I think that question was coming from Ada Amanze. Is this correct? Right. Now, so Ada, do you need a website to run a CRM? I'll say yes. I think it's very important for you to have not necessarily a website, but I think it makes a lot more sense. I always tell people that your website is an online brochure. People can log on to it any and every time. And once you have a website, it makes it easier. It's not like you cannot have a website. It's not like you can have a CRM without the listing, but you can't have a CRM without a website. But it's a central place where everybody, when they need information from you, right, they can come to get all the information that they need about you, about your listings, about your company, and from there you can actually start dealing with them from there. So are there instances where people have CRMs without a website? Yes, but it's not efficient. It's not. You need something that works for you well, even while you're sleeping.
Okay.
Right, and that's why I would suggest. I highly recommend you have landing pages. I highly recommend that you have websites. I highly recommend that you have social media handles. I highly recommend that you have different channels that can plug into a CRM. But central to it is to all this and something that makes it a lot easier for you is actually having a website. It does help. But can you do without it? Yes, but it's not expedient to work without a website. I'll answer your question.
Okay, I think I would also like to add. I think the question was from Mr. Kinyola, not Ms. Adam.
Mr. Akiola, oh sorry, I think it's like okay. I was looking at on top. I'm sorry, Mr. Akiola. I'm sorry about that.
To add to Mr. Akinyola's question, do you need a website? So, as Think Media, the sort of CRM that we have, that we implement, we can also build what's it called? We can also build a landing page and a website for you, right? So it depends on how many modules and how many parts of it that you want us to. So you don't exactly, like Mr. Biodu said, need a website. It comes with the entire system. So even if you don't have an existing website, we can build one for you. But then we should assume that by now, for you to have been in the business, let's say business for this long, we assume that you should already have a website. Thank you.
Okay, second question. We've gone past the hour. Second question is, can you give an example of an easy CRM and automation partner we can use for non-technical small real estate agency? That question is coming from Ada Amanze. I think I finally have been able to place the question with the person this time. Okay, so Ada, yes, there are small CRMs that you can use. And of course, one that I can tell you right now, that I can use for okay, yes. Now, first and foremost, I want us to get this very clear. A CRM only is as good as what you tell it to do.
Exactly. Garbage in, garbage out.
So if you so it's not really about getting the CRM. Anybody can, you can by all means go to Google right now. This same question asked, you get the answer. You get an answer. But what do you need it to do is what you must first clarify. So for me, the question is not much about pick up and easy. I can tell you, go and check out Pipedrive. Pipedrive, I like Pipedrive. I like Pipedrive. Pipedrive, the interface is good. But what do you need Pipedrive to do? I think that's the first question to entertain, because if you just pick up any CRM and just do and you're not clarified your sales process, you don't know who's supposed to pick up what lead when, you may run into problems, and later on you find that it's just an expensive phone book for you.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I mean, I've just suggested one for you: Pipedrive.
All right. So I think we don't have any more questions because time is fast spent. I think we are about 2 minutes late. So I think at the beginning of this webinar, we mentioned that we have a special offer for people that stayed, to the end of this webinar. And I think I must applaud, your time, right? You took out time, and that's very impressive. It means that you are determined towards changing your business, towards changing your real estate business and supercharging your business this year, right? So the offer that we have for you is we have, after this, we usually have a premium consultation, right? We go in depth and we discuss specifically your business on how you can get started, right? It's going to be a 1-hour consultation with you, exclusively for you. We are going to analyze your current strategy, recommend, make recommendations for immediate improvements. We would also talk about your lead generation efforts and also give you, actionable steps on how you can boost and, generate quality leads. We would also give you a comprehensive assessment of your business, a detailed action plan for exponential growth, and we would also give you our exclusive product offers. We also have other product offers like CRM implementation, right? You will also be getting some exclusive product offers, right? Now, the current price, although this is liable to change, is actually 24,999, which is 25,000. However, coming to this webinar, right, we are going to send every participant a coupon code. So the coupon code is webinar, right? So when checking out, and also this coupon code is going to be valid for tonight. If you don't take action tonight, this is not going to be valid anymore. So it's strictly for those that attended the webinar and also stayed to the end. So put in the coupon code webinar, and you'll be given a discount, a discount for about 40 to 50% discount. And we can schedule a 1-hour consultation, and trust me, it's going to be worth your time. And this is actually a steal. This is a steal for the insights that you'll be getting towards your business and also implementing towards your business. So like I said, the coupon code is webinar, WEBINAR. I would also be typing this in the chat bot and also be sending this as an email to everyone. And it's only valid for tonight. Once it's 12 p.m. Tonight, it's going to 12 p.m. I mean, once it's 12 a.m. tonight, it's not going to be valid anymore. So that's it from our side. So I think Mr. Kim, we thank you so much for your time. We learned a lot, and we believe that this is going to be a start to many more consultation. So we look forward to speaking to those that take action and exploring further on how they can supercharge their business and how they can change the trajectory of their business this year. So I don't know if you have anything left to say to our audience, Mr. Kieme.
So, I mean, first and foremost, I want to thank you. You guys have been a fantastic audience. You see, life for me is about, it's not those that, it's not for sayers, it's about doers. People can say, I want to solve my problem. But at the end of the day, life is actually for those that take action. And you have shown great action in solving your real estate challenges, industry challenges, by actually being here and investing your time, particularly to be on this webinar. We, sincerely appreciate it. But we look forward to actually engaging you guys on on a more robust conversation as to how you can keep smiling to the bank. It's something, I mean, it pains me. I remember there's something my lecturer said, it's about 20 years ago in school. He said that if you studied this course, yes, in the hallowed halls of the lecture halls of University of Lagos, and he said that if you study this course and you don't make it, I don't want to say what he said exactly, but he was saying that you have no choice. You're in a very, very lucrative industry. You have no choice than to do well in life. And it's on this note for me that I think it's just not enough that we are able to articulate or listen, but life is for those that take action. And on that note, I encourage you to take the needed action, whether with us or without us, to actually solve this problem. It's time to build profitable relationships. So thanks once again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, everyone. We are behind schedule. I think 8 minutes past spent. So we hope you take action, and we look forward to speaking to you further. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.